Wow, we've got something going on today. Yes, we do. Plain, regular looking box, really fairly unimpressive until you who? I'm not going to be stupid about it. Damasteel and Mokuti. Well, obviously, yes, it's Reate knives. And baby, there's a story behind this one, but there's a story behind every one of them, right? So let's just get this going here right at first because we got Mokuti and we got just a conglomerate of textures, colors, and materials here, don't we? I mean, that is pretty, isn't it? Mokuti. This is the Reate or Reate Future. Titanium, framelock, flipper, knife. Just like that. Damasteel blade. Actually, the Reate logo's right there. A little hard to make out. Crap. And on this side is the designer's mark. Yeah, but it's Tachi Baruka or Barucha. I mean, however you want to do that. TB. And I'll tell you what, that guy has done collaborative stuff with like every knife maker in the country. In fact, I think he does more collaborative stuff than he does his own custom knives. And quite the designer he is. I really like this Mokuti inlay. I mean, this is a pretty knife, isn't it? I mean, you got to get, and it's tough on in studio lights here. It's hard to show off the Mokuti. I mean, that looks pretty good right there. I mean, you got to, if you get it in the dark, it's just not going to really show you the stuff. But you got to get it in the right angle. If it was out in the sunlight, it would fare better. I mean, that's pretty. I don't know if this is Chad Nichols' thing because I was reading up on Mokuti and I ran across his site. And this is as opposed to Damascus, which is a different process of putting, titanium laminates together and folding them and, making this pattern. And then I believe it's a heat process that brings these colors out. Kind of like heat anodizing would on titanium. But this is a combination of two different metals. And I'm going to put the link on the description section so that you can see, the article that talks about how this is done. And also a link to the article on the Damasteel and how that is made as opposed to Damascus. And when I got done reading the article, I decided, if I wanted, more consistent quality, true stainless, whatever, then this Damasteel is a better product than most of the Damascus that's out there. And that's, I guess, maybe an insane thing to say, but that's kind of what I took away from that article. Because this is a powdered, this is an aerosolized product and then put under heat and pressure, more even distribution of carbides, so less imperfections and that kind of thing. And then they talk about I think RWL 34 and some other steel that's put together to make this. And then they can manipulate this to make whatever pattern and then acid etch or acid dip, whatever, etch, dip, to bring out these these patterns. So it's very decorative, isn't it? I like it. So this is the future. They you know, by Reate, and it's an integral. How'd I get 5 minutes in here without telling you that it's an integral frame? So this is Reate's first integral, and from what I understand, these knives are now available, at least on one website that a friend was telling me about. I think the bronze anode ones with carbon fiber inlay here, as opposed to Mokuti. And then I think they just have a M390 blade. So this one is a limited edition. So you've got the Damasteel, and you've got the Mokuti. You've got an integral frame here. And it's kind of cool that they put these little kind of chevrons or whatever they're called here in this back spacer. Kind of dresses it up, keeps it from looking just too plain, but also accentuating the fact that there's no scales here put together. This is one solid piece. And so when you do that, then you say to yourself, well, hold on, how do I put this insert in here? And you got to put it on from the outside, because you can't get well, it's possible to get a tool in there to insert it, but you know, this is how they're doing it, because you're not splitting it open. So you do have a hardened steel insert here, which is really, I mean, this is craziness here, because you can see how you've got a line cut through here. And so the front end of this insert screw is flush, but the back end is not. How crazy is that? But I mean, that Mokuti, I mean, don't you love that blue and gold? I mean, that just fires up. Kind of like looking at an opal, you know, at an angle. I mean, it gets fiery. It looks different in different light conditions. Wow. I mean, it's, this is the first Mokuti product that I've had in my hands. So, you know, it's not like I run around in those circles all the time. So I'm just loving this knife. I love them knives. Yes, we do. But yeah, this is, wow, wonderful. And it's a pretty decent sized knife. It's, well, 3 3/4 up here at the closest point on the frame, which is 9.5 centimeters. Overall, not quite 9 inches, 8 7/8, 22.5 centimeters. So it's, you know, it's a pretty good sized knife. Almost 9 inches overall. Feels good in the hand. It's interesting how the flipper works on this. Take a look at that. Okay. Let me kind of get some of this stuff out of the way, I guess, a little bit, so we can kind of focus on this knife. I was trying to figure out how I'm going to get my lighting to really function, because you bring it down like this and then you really got nothing here. I mean, it's a little, you got to get, you know, it's easier if you're just out in outdoors, but so I apologize for that, because really that's the whole deal, right? Having it on video is to show these colors and the fire and the Mokuti and really everything about this. In any case, so you got the flipper, you got some jimping on the front of the flipper tab, but it's like, look at this big old long tab that comes down here. And basically, you know, you're looking at the underside of the blade. You're looking at this as it narrows into a cutting edge. So you're looking at this as your flipper tab. This is what's sticking up. Sorry, didn't really mean to think you were not really following how that is. I was just trying to point it out for those of you who weren't quite seeing that picture, because it is a different, it's a different kind of cat. Yeah. And I would venture to say, we're going to, Tashi Baruka is going to get one of his knives cut. Yeah. 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 I mean, now it's used. It's only worth $50 now. And you know what? Speaking of $50, it's way more than $50. Hold on. Let me lay this down gently. The Future integral frame. This is the same knife. Blade HQ. Yeah, it's not in stock. 885 Pestolians. Here's the specs. Like we said, not quite 9 inches. 3 3/4 inch blade. Damasteel, flat grind. Titanium, 5.57 ounces, which we'll figure out here in a minute. And Baruka or Barucha. I mean, you know, my buddy up in Illinois says Barucha. I said, I don't know, Japanese, sometimes when you put the CH, it's more like a K, but okay, whatever. Just saying. Yeah, integral handle, solid billet titanium. You know, but this is what really killed Tony up there when he was talking to me. He goes, oh, it's got a 4.25 inch blade. They are doing this on Blade HQ on every one. But when they actually give you the title here, 3.75, over here, 3.75, really? He was all jacked up because he loves anything with a 4-inch blade or longer. He's on board. And he thought, oh, I didn't know it was so little. Jeez. Yes, it's a tiny little knife, only 9 inches long. And man, does it feel good in the hand. It feels substantial too. It does feel heavy, but you know, it's a pretty good chunk of titanium. Come here. Let's see what she weighs. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Quit staring and get to work. 5.6 ounces. So it's really, yeah, it's just normal kind of EDC weight. 159 grams. So, yeah, I mean, you could chunk that in your pocket. It's not too crazy, is it? I love that clip. I mean, if you look at the machine work that they had to do on this, that's just beautiful, isn't it? Look at all, you know, you're milling, you're coming to this edge, you're milling, coming out here, flat surface here, but then this one is cut away, coming down here. Same on here, you got this little fluted area in here, but then this is washing that way and down. This is flat, and then this is coming back down here, and you got this corner to make. It's art. I mean, in my estimation, this is art. This is, I don't know about carrying this thing, but, and it's perfectly centered. I mean, it's just perfectly centered. It's gonna need lock rock. God, I hope not. It's going back if it does. No, it doesn't. No blade play either, but it's smooth. Boy, that's authoritative. It's got just the right detent, and then it just comes firing out. So yeah, that's nice. What do you think? Yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be close to 4 millimeter. 0.156, I think we've seen that measurement before. Yeah, 4 millimeter. So that's nice. Now, how thick is this dog? It's 13 millimeters. It's a half inch. Just a skosh over, maybe. A half inch thick. So, it does feel good in the hand. You know, talk about like jimping and traction and stuff. No, there is none of that. And you know what? I kind of get that, of course, because this is not the knife you're going to take off out into the hay fields with, or camping trip, or, you know, construction yard. Sorry. It's just not going to happen. Probably. And if you got money, I guess you could do it that way. Shit. I mean, your knife, you do what you want, but no. This is to be admired and maybe lightly carried, you know? And yes, I love it. Oh, hey, let me, crap. Let me get the stuff over here that it came with. Now that we've kind of pondered this for a little while, lay that down. So it comes in this pouch. It came sealed. I mean, I just cut the corner off of this and pulled it out, but it came in here. Well, you saw me take it out. Okay, then, check this out. It comes with some extra little spare parts, screws and such. Looks like you got 2 screws. And no, 3 screws. One's longer, and then you got a washer. And it's a single washer. Okay. And you got this very nice little, you know, microfiber cloth. But I wanted to show you this, especially. I mean, you got the microfiber pouch. Come on, boys, really? He'll just let you fall out of here. Okay, so you get this card. It's metal. I think it's aluminum. Certificate of authenticity. So that's sweetness, isn't it? So you want to do that name again? Tashi Barucha? Either way. Damasteel. DS93X. Just reading it to you. Integral Mokuti. Number 30 of 50. So I'm saying it's a limited edition. I don't see an actual number on the knife. I can't hardly read the Reate and the designer's name on that blade to begin with anyhow. Acid wash is the finish for the blade. And I guess sandblast is the finish for the handle. And then on the other side it says Back to the Future. And the knife again. Kind of blows me away. I love this this flute, blood groove, whatever you want to call it, here. See, I mean, that Reate is, if you can get it, if you get in the right light, good Lord Almighty. Let's come back here. I'm not seeing the number on the actual blade, so apparently they're putting it on the card, but I'm not seeing it actually on the blade. I just thought maybe you'd like to just slowly... You know, when I watch my videos on my own big screen TV, I need to get a TV with 250 megahertz. Because this thing goes, you can tell when you do a lot of motion, it kind of breaks up a little, gets grainy. I should have been a cheap ass, but I didn't get 60 megahertz. I think I got like 125 or whatever, 120. Should have got the 250. Yeah, isn't that sweet? That is just so beautiful. It's an incredible knife. It really is. Feels good in the hand. It's art. I mean, and they crowned the spine here, you know. I mean, and if you look at the spine, you can see the striations or the layers of the steel through there. That's really nice. It really is. You know, I saw Jim Sullivan's video on this, and I'd seen it a long time ago, and then I rewatched it when I knew this was coming in, because I just wanted to kind of go back and see that knife that he had. And of course, his had a satin blade. His was David Dang's. David Dang's the owner of Reate. David sent him that. David had that at a show, and it had a carbon fiber inlay. David took it back, apparently is the story that Jim tells, and put a Mokuti inlay in there, and then sent it to Jim. So the one that Jim has on his video doesn't have the Damasteel. And if you look carefully at the one that Jim shows you, since that's kind of more of a prototype mock-up thing, that you look at the screws on the back, and Jim was going, yeah, that was his only niggle, was it's too bad that there had to be screws here in that Mokuti, as opposed to the presentation side where there weren't any. But if you look at that, those are just kind of regular old capped standard domed Torx screws. Just they look gray, just your standard industrial looking ones. See how they've done this now? They've gone to a machined, flattened, so it's flush, and it's a much cleaner, nicer, shinier look to it. That's just what I'm pointing out. I mean, I noticed that on his, and you can look, you can check it out yourself. But, you know, having to do this lock bar from the outside, how about that? Wow. Yeah, it ain't easy to operate inside of an integral frame knife. No, it is not. But this is, wow. This is a beautiful knife. I think I'd done all I could done when I bought this too. Jeez. I was just lucky. I talked to the right guy, and he said, hey, I only got a couple, and they're gone. And I don't know who they went to, but he goes, I got one left. I guess I'll go steal it back from the marketing department. He gave it to some department that I'll steal it back. I'll sell it to you. So I said, oh, because I was interested in the one that I knew that they had, which was the bronze with the carbon fiber inlays. But this was it. This was the last. And I go, oh yeah, sign me up. Oh, it's going to cost twice as much. But sometimes this is one of those ones you can never really lose on, because it's probably going to hold its value as being one of 50. You know, I mean, number 30 of a 50 knife run. That's just kind of like money in the bank, and maybe a good investment at that, actually. So LTK going to grit and see if he can fit this into his long-term knife holdings. Because it's an investment. It really is. But it's money, nevertheless, so isn't that pretty though? Wow. Incredible. Oh, well, let's play with it a little bit. Yeah. That is a good stroke right there. Oh, I never did show you the lockup, right? That's 25-30% there. That's pretty fair. That's pretty solid. That's not real light. That's getting there. And I just love the machine work, how they really integrated that insert into that lock bar, because the lock bar is getting machined through there, and the insert's still flush. It's like they put it in and then machined right over it. You know what I mean? But then put the screw in later. That is so bizarre. But I mean, it's sweet. I mean, it works. There's the inside of the knife. Yeah. That freaked me out, because I didn't think I'd ever run into one of these. Not in the available market. I figured they'd be gone pretty quick. It's really hard to kind of catch some of these when they come out in a limited number like that. But yeah, I hope these lights are kind of doing it a little bit of justice. I hope you don't mind, because I don't know. I played with the lights a little bit, and it's not easy, especially the sun's going down and stuff outside, and yeah. But I just want to get this up on my side. It's just a beautiful knife, and it feels so good. The detent's just right, and this thing just, yeah, it really feels good. It's a pretty strong detent. It's not too crazy. It's medium. I mean, it's not one that you're going to gravity flip out, but just a little bit too strong to gravity flip, but not too strong. Well, let's see if we can do this. Maybe we can. I don't want to throw this thing on the floor. Oh, okay. I can do it. So, yes, you can. So, that just shows you that the detent's not too out of control. It's not. It's just right. Man, that feels so smooth. It kind of feels like, it really does. It feels kind of like glass on both sides. That's what Skelton was saying. It's like 2 panes of glass, but it is. It's extremely smooth. Extremely smooth. And I don't know squat about the bearings in here, and you can kind of see them a little bit through here. No, I ain't gonna I'm not gonna take it apart. Man, it just came so nicely set up, though. They really did this. It's, I feel like I've got a custom knife in my hands. That's what I feel like. And I think that if you had it in your hands, you'd feel that way too. And there's some custom knives that don't quite get dressed up like this anyhow. So Blade HQ had them listed for $885. Well, of course you can't get one. I don't know if there's even any available or if these would show up in the secondary market. But in any case, so you're talking almost $900. That's still that's a lot of money, but there's some knives for $1,500 to $2,000 that may not be quite as flashy or artsy as this one. And, they don't have to be flashy or artsy, but I'm just saying, it's dressed up. But you know what I like about it? It's basically a 9-inch long knife. I'm so glad this is not like a 2.75-inch blade or a 3-inch blade. I'm just can't tell you how happy I am that this thing is at least 3.75 length on the blade. Wow. I mean, yes, I'm all in for that. I really am. All right. I guess I think I done talked myself to death on this one, but don't worry, I'll be checking it out later, in this evening. I'll have it with me. I'm going to just see kind of how I feel about this. If it's right off the bat, to tell you, I think it's worth the investment. I don't think you can lose on that part of it. Is it something you want to keep, that much money tied up in? I don't know. That's just between you and your banker. My banker's my wife. She might have something to say about it. My buddy's like, you better hide that sumbitch before she gets home, because she's out of town right now. He goes, hey, what's it like with your wife out of town this long? I go, sex is the same, but the laundry's piling up. Shit. Oh my God. That was rugged. But yeah, this is this is quite the knife. It really is. But you're right. I'm gonna have to hide it in my sock drawer. No, she does the laundry. No, I need to hide it somewhere else. No, it's all good. She's pretty understanding. Maybe. Wow. Yeah, this is one of those ones that just really flips so good. It really does. And it's sharp. And this, if you want a showy Damascus type blade, I don't think you can go wrong with this. Is that pretty? Yeah. Yeah, see, Brian Ty does a lot with this Damasteel too. I used to just get on his page and look at his gallery of custom knives. Oh my God, I used to just dream about that stuff. That's so pretty. Maybe one of these days I'll grab me one of his too. But I just thought this was the cat's meow when I saw a lot of his knives done in this Damasteel. All right, guys. The blue and the gold and the fire. It's just so nice. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's all about, the enjoyment of the hobby and everything. And it's fun. It's the oldest tool known to man, probably. The first thing we ever invented was probably something to cut something with. Or it was right in there with the first tools. And ever since then, the fascination with actually bringing some of the basic things and inventions of man into the art world, basically the craftsmanship, bringing it to an art form. And this definitely does that. It sure does. Thank you, my friends. And we got all the stuff, so it's great. Thank you for joining me. Dang. You know what we do. Yes, we love them knives. Yes, we do.